Welcome back to GMC Live Reviews. We are reviewing Serengeti Acacia Camps, and in particular the Central Camp today. And we are with Peter Robert. Peter, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Sumitas.
Well, we've had a action-packed kind of 24 hours.
You're most welcome.
We went on game drives. We had a lovely dinner. We saw lions three or four times. Some very nice interaction with buffalo this morning.
Thank you.
And that's all. We've pushed that all out. But we just want to chat a little bit about you, because this is a 100% Tanzanian company.
Yes,
and
yes.
that is what we really like. Tell us about your beginnings and how we got to where you are now.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for you guys to coming here, and we are really happy for you to be here so that we can tell the world that even Tanzanian, we are able to do the things like that. Before I jumped into this business, I used to work to some other company, and as a simple, normal employed in tourism industry. I used to work as a waiter before. That's where I started. I was to work with one company in Arusha as a waiter for the camping.
So humble beginnings.
Humble beginning, absolutely. So I used to be a waiter before, and then it was like 2-3 years from 1999 to 2001. Then I fell love tourism industry, and then I said, okay, my parents took me to the College of Wildlife Africa Management, Mweka, for 1 year of certificate of wildlife management. After that, I came to Arusha. Now I started asking for the job as a guide, because before I used to be a waiter, and then I got a little bit education of the wildlife management. Then I said, let me try to look for the job as a guide.
So a guiding starter. So you know the bush, you know the Serengeti.
I know the bush, I know the Serengeti before, because we used to come here, the camping, we know everywhere in Serengeti before. So after get the certificate for wildlife management, now I became a guide, and I want now to drive a guest, not to be served the guest. So I tried some couple of companies in Arusha, went to some couple of interview as a guide, but unfortunately I didn't get the job at that moment. And then I returned again to the company that I used to work before. So they offer me the guide for the walking safaris around the ranch. They own the ranch. I stayed there for 2 years as a walking ranch guide. Then I went back to Arusha to look for another safari company, and I got one company that offered me the job. I used to come to Serengeti once. It was not so much, like 3 times I came here as a guide. Then I feel like, let me step it off and then go back home. And then I stay home for 3 years until
relaxing.
And I wanted to relax in order to get a really channel where am I going to start, because I felt so happy that if I could own my own things, because I went through all the tourism industry, and I know exactly what other people preferred. It was something like I know sometimes people, this is a holiday, and the people, they just sometimes made it once in a lifetime.
So you're working with people's dreams.
Yes, I'm working with the people dreams, as you said. So you have to deliver something that can make your dreams become true. It was a dream before to say that I'm going to Africa, I'm going to see maybe the wildlife, but I know people, they saved a lot, because travel in Tanzania is not easy. It's not cheaper. It's really expensive. And the people, they have to save a lot sometimes for the families, for the honeymoons, for the just normal safaris, adventures, and Kilimanjaro climbing.
So we actually have a responsibility to actually look after the people that come on holiday.
Yeah. So I said, like, this is something that people, they do once. So I have to show that if you plan to sing to something like that, we'll be able to deliver as you expect. So that's why I started to think about where am I going to start. I try even to speak to my family. I said, I want to have a company for tourism. I remember one day my mom laughed at me and said, are you serious, or are you crazy? I said, yes, I think like I will manage it. He said, no. She started saying, okay, I know that this is need a lot of money for you guys to do that. And unfortunately, we're not rich people can offer there's the money. Even we don't have some piece of land to say that you can go to the bank and put the money, loan the money, and then get money from the bank. So
you started, it was just one laptop that you got from your mom.
So my mom just, she said, okay, what can we help you? I said, okay, can you buy me the laptop? I said, okay. My mom, she went back in town, she bought me the laptop. I have it in the office. She's daily, it's daily. She bought it, it was a ready one. It's very good. In 5 years back, if you you handle like a Dell computer and it's very good. You're
Yeah,
the best.
you were number one.
You're number one. So she bought me a laptop. Then I started to feel, how am I going to start? And then I said to my mom, I spoke to a friend of mine. He used to do a research for the wildlife, and he told me that if you could have a website, and we'll start. That's the way to start.
That's where it started.
Then
So,
it was very difficult to find who is a website designer. And at the end, I met one of the friend of mine. He said, I know somebody in Arusha that can make a website. Then I said, okay, one. Yeah, okay, we can go and meet him. It was very strange because when I met the guy thought that, yeah, this is the way to get money. The way he charged me over maybe fourth time compared to what people they paid out the website today.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's okay. So that's why he started my website for Safari, and we started to develop the website slowly, put the small content, and try to link our website to those social medias like Facebook, Twitter, a little bit in Instagram. It was not so strong that
so you
before.
started getting some inquiries, eh?
Yeah.
And look where you are now.
Yeah. So
That's
I started getting
incredible.
some inquiry, and then until we get here. But I remember it was a really, really funny story that we got one inquiry for the honeymooners, and I thought maybe I will deliver something the bed, but I've been disappointed by the time when I delayed to pick the guests from Mara side to come
Yeah.
to Serengeti, and we end up sleeping in a very small guest house
In the middle of
in
nowhere.
the middle of nowhere.
Your
And
first safari.
My first safari, my first impression, and I thought, oh my God, these people, they will end up complaining. But it was good because it was a really experience in a lifetime, because they didn't expect to go to the very small guest house out of Serengeti, and at the end of the trip, everything went perfectly. They said, oh, we're going to recommend you guys to our friends, and that's where we started to get some friends until today.
But I can see that that what you did on that first safari, looking after people and doing as much as you can, to give them the best possible safari. We still see that today, in your operation and in your camp. We're gonna chat. We're gonna go into more detail today into the rooms and the tents, and we will do a camp review, an official camp review. But it is just great for us to see that that a Tanzanian, 100% Tanzanian company can come up from one laptop to a big business, and we want to congratulate you.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you so much.
and we see the day that we've been here, and if we look at the staff and how we've been looked after, that those principles are still there.
Thanks.
And we wanted to just touch a little bit on your operations. We've seen that you are generating power with solar. We know water is a problem in the Serengeti, and that gets picked up from Turner Spring and those places. So we're just really happy that you're operating not just in a professional way, but also in a sustainable way.
Yes.
Peter, it's really great to see. We thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for looking after us.
Thank you so
We're
much.
going to let you go because you're a busy man, and we're going to try and grab you in about an hour from now, and then we're going to do a proper camp review.
Thank you. I'll be here.
And
I'll be
just
here for you.
speak about the camp in a bit more detail.
Thank you.
But congratulations and thanks for hosting us.
Karibu sana.
I'm Carl Fru from GNC Live Reviews. Stay tuned for lodge review and a few room reviews hereafter, and then we will watch the sunset and sit around the fire tonight. Stay tuned.